this is a task of maybe if you actually would have focused, you could have done this in 10 minutes. You teach your brain that, oh, if I do this, I get punished. But the brain does not learn through punishment. The brain wants dopamine. Alright, Danny, let's see. What do the cards say? Okay, first of all, that's many again. What else is there for Danny? What does Danny need to hear right now? There's something here with the Eight of Swords that you could be letting go of, or like maybe you feel a little stuck mentally in some place. We got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, so to me this is like, at least in this card, it's kind of like a workaholic type of thing. It's like you put
workaholic.
It's like a workaholic kind of thing, like a dull workaholic. Like you put a lot of effort into something consistently, and but it's like you're not really getting anywhere. It's like you're putting a lot of effort into something, but you're not really, you're not seeing the results. It's like, oh, I'm so busy. I'm always busy. I always have something to do. But then you avoid the one task that is like the most important. Maybe you did that before. Like that could actually have been you before, and right now you actually feel like you are doing the hard things, or you are like working towards doing the hard things more. But you were like becoming aware that you are doing that, and you're like trying to move past this and like be better at that. It feels like with the Queen of Swords, you're finally honest with that part of yourself. I don't see you doing this 100% of the time just yet. I still feel like
Yeah, it's crazy.
I still feel like there's like moments where you like have weak points where it's like, okay, no, I can't be bothered with that right now. But
that's low-key me with a lot of things. Yeah, I can't be bothered to do that right now.
Yeah. But at least you like you've gained some new clarity here. Like there's some shift that has definitely been happening. Okay, it's like when you sit down to do a task, right? And you actually sit there and you're like, but actually I need to listen to music to get my brain going. It's like this ADHD. It's like this ADHD type of thing. It's like, oh, I need to listen to music to get my brain going, or I need to do certain things, or I need to eat some candy to like get my sugar up or something, like, or like so I can focus, right? Or I need to do this other thing so I can focus, but you're not actually doing the thing. And then you end up sitting there for like half an hour, and you've like, this is a task of maybe if you actually would have focused, you could have done this in 10 minutes. Yeah. So I feel like you've recently been like gaining more awareness of this behavior. Then it's also like you're blaming yourself. When this happens, when you fall back into these cycles, you're actually like being kind of hard on yourself, and you're like mentally. This is also like you're mentally, like your inner thoughts aren't that like positive.
Yeah, that's low-key me right now, because I study finals. I like study, but then I'm like, no, wait, I need to like shower first. Wait, I also need like a drink or something. And then like I watch YouTube for like 20 minutes. I'm like, wait, no, now I gotta lock in. Like,
yeah, it's and then you also blame yourself for that behavior, that procrastination loop. This is the procrastination loop. Now the question is, how can you get out of that loop? So you've already done the first step, which basically you kind of realize that you're in the loop, which is perfect. Now you're aware of it. You can do something about it. So that's great. That's awesome. That's the thing. Like when you sit down in your space, that's the first thing that I would look at, is probably your space. Like what is around you in your space that is distracting you, or that is like a possible distraction. Then I would start removing these things. If you look around you, for example, and you could go on your phone, right? Just put your phone away. Just maybe put it in a drawer in the kitchen or somewhere. Some random place that is far away that you don't think of it. Just put it far away, right? It has no place in your room when you're trying to do something, to get something done. Eliminate all distractions that you can possibly eliminate. This is not going to be like a fix in the sense of like, oh, you do this and then you're instantly going to be focused, right? But what you want to do is you want to trick your brain into wanting to do the task. Every single time you go through this loop, after you come out of this loop, you're punishing yourself because you haven't really you haven't done it in the like, either you like procrastinate for so long that you've actually like done the task like 5 minutes before it was due. So then you beat yourself up because it took you like, you're right.
No, literally, that literally happened to me one time where I was like, man, I literally like stood up for an assignment, didn't do it, and then like I woke up and then I did it in like 30 minutes. I was like, all right.
So yeah, and then you did the task, right? But then maybe you're not happy with the task because maybe you haven't done it to your full capacity, or you've done it last minute, so you blame yourself for doing it last minute. And we don't want that. So anytime you do something, or you do these tasks, or you do them like you half-ass them when you like distract yourself in something else, you teach your brain that, oh, if I do this, I get punished. But the brain does not learn through punishment. The brain wants dopamine, which is what you give yourself through distracting. Like, that's what you distract yourself with, right? So, but you can also trick your brain to actually do the task and like the task. For example, there's a really easy way to do this could be, you could take the task that you have, right? First of all, you want to look at the space. We started, first step is to eliminate all distractions. So you eliminate all the distractions that are in your space. We don't want that. Put your phone away. Like, don't, like, if you're at the PC, you're kind of like, you can still open YouTube, but you don't want to do that. You want to eliminate all distractions, so you just want to maybe have a little ritual. So the brain likes repetition. And it also recognizes if things like repeat themselves, and if the brain recognizes something, for example, maybe you can light a certain candle or something, and a certain smell will tell your brain, oh, now if I smell this, it's time to focus. Or if I put a certain song on, I know, like, oh, we listen to music, but if I put a certain song on or something, oh, now it's time to focus because the song is on. Or as soon as I sit in this chair, it's time to focus. I have a ritual before every Tarot Tuesday. I sit down for 5 minutes and I just meditate. And that's why I'm late sometimes, because I generally can't start Tarot Tuesday, because every single time I sit down to do Tarot Tuesday, I have this little ritual that tells my brain, now it's time to focus. So if you do that, then you teach your brain, okay, now it's time to focus, and now we're locking in. So that's the second thing. So now that we have that, we have eliminated all distractions, we have created a little ritual for ourselves. Now we want to make the task less scary. So what makes the task scary? A lot of the time why we avoid things is because we either don't know where to start, like we're overwhelmed. The task just seems so big and we don't know where to start. So what we can do is actually put the task, like write it down, what's the task, and then underneath, try to find the first step. And you want to make the step as small as possible. Like I'm talking, for example, if you want to record a video, like it sounds really, really dumb, but the smaller the steps you make, you want to have like a checklist. So every single time you like actually achieve something, or like you do this step successfully, you can just check it off your list. So your brain gets a little bit of dopamine because you finished the task. And you can make these steps as small as possible. It could be like open a program. Like you don't have to make them this small, but it depends on how bad your procrastination is. Like if it's gotten really bad, then you can make them really, really small, and then you could just be like, oh, and then you can like tap it off as soon as you're done. And then every single time you do something, your brain gets a little dopamine hit. Just finishing these micro tasks will make you want to finish the task, because you don't want to leave it unfinished, because you've also written down your progress and you don't want to leave.
Yeah, and then just leaving things unfinished is unsatisfying.
Exactly.
So.
You've also documented it now. So now you have the checklist like in front of you, and you're like, if I leave this last box unchecked, that kind of sucks. Also, maybe there is, for example, you know that something will take around an hour, right? It's the same thing. We want to split it up. We don't want to look at it like, oh, this is going to take me an hour of my time. I'm going to be sitting here for the next hour. How am I going to do that? How am I going to sit here for the next hour and just work on one thing? Because that's daunting for the brain again. So we want to be like, okay, I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to do the thing with the checklist. I'm just going to work for 5 minutes and see what happens and see how I feel.
Right.
But if you work for 5 minutes already, your brain is already going into focus mode. And if you just commit to 5 minutes, you will automatically want to keep going because you're already like in the flow.
Yes.
And then
you don't want to get out of that flow.
Yeah. And then it's also really important to listen to yourself, though. It's not like if you can't focus at all and you notice, okay, maybe after half an hour, you're like, okay, I can't focus anymore right now. It's okay to take a pause. Like, it's generally okay to be like, okay, I worked for 30 minutes. I'm going to take a 5-minute break. It's really important for if you do this that you don't distract yourself. Like, don't start watching a YouTube video. Because whatever you want to do, you still want to be able to just go back into the flow state if you take that 5-minute break. We want to try to stay in that state for as long as possible. And if we have to take a pause, we don't really necessarily want to distract our brain or like put anything new into our brain, because then it's going to be even harder to get back into it. Yeah, those are like some really important things, or some things that could help with that. But yeah, procrastination in general.
Procrastination is evil.
It's it's actually not evil. It's actually your body just trying to protect you, because we've just discovered that every single time that you do something right, you still punish yourself. So now your brain thinks, oh, doing these tasks is bad, and it's just trying to protect you. This is your brain telling you, oh, the last time we did that, we actually got punished, so now we don't want to do it again. If you teach your brain that it's actually something positive, then your brain will keep on wanting to do it, but you have to kind of shift that thing first. There's the people that it seems like, oh, they get these tasks done so easily. They do these tasks so easily, or they always have their homework on time, or they're always the first ones that get their homework done. But they've just taught their brain that it's something positive. They reward themselves. They don't punish themselves. They work with themselves. And most people don't.
Or they're not neurodivergent.
Yeah, neurodivergent people, if when it comes to that, it's actually, it's always, of course, there's downsides. If you turn those downsides into upsides, ADHD people can actually go into this flow state way more easily than normal people can. And if you generally like learn how to work with yourself and not against yourself, this can actually be your greatest superpower. ADHD people, if they're in their zone and they believe in themselves, they can outperform all neurotypical people. Hyperfocus is generally not something to be messed with. All right. Yeah.
Thank you, Taro, for the reading.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I needed this.